Hey, Gypsy Jean. I wanted to put a little seed and some thoughts in your mind today about legacy and what you leave behind. And it intertwines with the influence you may have on forming another human being's legacy. I was talking to a fellow yesterday, and he was telling me about he's concerned about leaving an inheritance for his children, and in the way of monetary or, land, home, whatever. And I thought, wow, he's really stressed out about this, and a lot of things that he's going through is to try to leave a money or property or something material behind for his children. And I understand why we still feel the need to do that, but at the same time, I'm of two minds of that. And I come from it from my point of view. I'm grown and I can do for myself. So I don't need anybody's money or a house or land. I got my own thing going on. It would be really cool, of course, if I did have some money or whatever left to me, but it would ultimately go to more material objects. Eventually, depending on how much is left, I would love to do, healing wellness centers and things like that. But honestly, I don't need more stuff. And most people have we all have all the stuff we don't need anyway. But what I would like to leave behind and what is most precious to me is what I call a legacy. And it's where you can either stain or color someone's life after you're gone or while you're with them. But that is what you leave behind when you go. When you pass from this physical existence, your physical body and your life and your emotions and whatever is not affected for you anymore. You're in a different realm, spiritual plane, yet depending on how you feel about it, you can visit and try to influence in a helpful way and see what they're doing. But you don't feel the suffering and the pain. You don't need the physical objects on this planet. You don't live that existence. So passing on something physical, while it's awesome and I understand it and it has its relevance and it's important, because I have things like paintings from my grandmother or furniture, but the legacy she left behind is the color that she put in my life, and as her role of forming me into another adult and as a piece of me and my personality today. And then on the other side, there's a bit of color in my family, and there's also some stains. And this is something I'm trying to do to reach out to you. So if you are staining someone's life before you go, and you may not realize it, or maybe you have the chance to change it, but like I said, it doesn't affect you when you're gone anymore. It affects how that person you leave behind develops. So that's the only regard that I think of when someone passing away. Because there's multi-generational abuse in my family and everyone else, I'm sure. It's more normal to be abused somehow or have a long history of abuse in your family than it is not, unfortunately. But when my family dies, I have my own roof, I have my own land, I have my own life. And, it's not something obviously that's urgent because I'm doing without it now. So leaving me a house would be awesome, and I could do a lot with it, maybe to help others. But, I hope you're catching where I'm going. Be a color and a legacy, not a stain. That is, I think, in my opinion, what you can do to leave something more important than material objects. Leave the color as good memories, good feelings, and good experiences. I don't care if it's building a bike together, trains, models, going swimming together, singing in the car, going somewhere, learning teaching each other how to do mechanic work, art, painting, anything like that, experiences you have together with someone that they learn from and it sticks in their memory and it gives them a nice feeling about you when you go. That's my goal, because I want to be a color and a positive impact in someone's development, and then they pass on the good things, and hopefully, along the line, one streak here or there raises up our planet and our people. And I think that's important. So like the children in my life, and especially my family, I try to teach them things that they can use practically and that would build them physically, emotionally, psychologically, give them emotional tools, give them good times and experiences. I'm sure there's a stain or two on there when I whooped some booties when they needed it, But, try to be a color, not a stain. If you recognize and can understand that you were abused, be conscious of how that made you feel and what was happening to you, and learn how to not do that. Go to counseling, watch videos, read books, reflect. When you're like your temper's about to pop off, try to practice taking a moment and thinking about it for a second. In the larger perspective, it really doesn't matter. Whatever's pissing you off, honestly, like for instance, they use your shampoo. Who cares, right? It's really in the big picture of things. Is it something that's worth destroying your relationship permanently and then leaving a stain or damage behind on this person? And when it's babies, another conversation brought me to this too. Another lady was concerned about the family. She has a grandbaby and the whole family seems to fight all the time. And I said, well, if you don't say anything negative and you don't get involved in the drama and the fighting, the grandbaby will know and feel that from you. You will not put that stain in them. You will not have that negative voice in their head. And you will be the safe harbor for them to come to understand and learn. Okay? While everybody else is fighting and talking shit, these children and these babies, they hear it, they feel it, they see it. They're not stupid. You think you're hiding it, but you're not. And you know that. You know that because you were that child that heard and saw everything, even when they thought they were not hiding it. And that left that stain on you, right? So you don't want to pass that on to children, because you are helping form that person's mind, their anxieties, their skills, their personality, And if you're an older person, they might be watching you. They might be forming you, not even consciously, themselves after you. Okay? Some stains from my family other than the abuse was drugs and alcohol. And because it was so bad, I have been observing humans from the time I was 2, like every single thing, every vibration, every motion, every reaction and action, to see how they play out. And I know it was weird from day one. And by watching all this and the experiences I have, I'm like, oh, I definitely, and it gave me bad feelings about it, honestly, especially in the old brainwashing about marijuana. I would see drugs and substances like a weakness in personality and character. And it was good and bad, because one, it showed me that I'm stronger than that, and I don't want to ever support on any kind of outside substance chemically to alter my reality. I wanted to experience it full on and then learn and adjust and adapt myself. Especially if it was painful, I wanted to take that pain that I'm receiving, learn about it, and analyze how it makes me feel and what interesting knowledge I got from it, and then how not to do that to other people, but maybe pass on the knowledge of the pain that I had, or helps me connect and help heal other people with similar type of situations. So the stains and the color both grew me, and I learned from both, but we do bloom and struggle. But there are so many struggles of being a human being, from strangers and the outside world. If you're in a child or another family member's life, try to be the color. Try to be where the knowledge and the inspiration and the wisdom comes from where the good emotions come from. And if you can recognize that you're having, and we all do recognize it, you can't act like you're stupid and you don't know you're doing something, especially when that was a type of abuse happening to you. You know it when you're repeating it. So be a grown-up and grow up from that. Grow up from that in your mind, right? The way you treat others. Instead of screaming and yelling, maybe punching somebody, maybe approach it with, you have responsibility in the bad situation as well. The first thing is your temperament and your attitude. This can be a disaster and go twice as bad, or this can be a healing and a learning moment between you and whoever. And it also may need to be teaching you how to let go. And somebody's always watching the way you react, and somebody's always influenced by what you do. Now, I'm not saying be paranoid and anxious about being good and bad all the damn time. Don't go crazy with it like that, because I got an attitude. I got a salty ass mouth. And if the youngins start be trying to get a salty ass mouth, I'll say something to them. But I try to be aware of how I talk to people. I get wound up in inappropriate at parties. I'm not saying you have to monitor yourself and try to be perfect all the time, because that is a complete delusion. I just mean don't carry on abuse. Don't be trying to be conscious of damaging behavior like drugs and alcohol. If you're using those as self-medication instead of growing and learning to situations, somebody's watching you do that. That's influencing someone else. So they think, well, they did it, I did it, and that's the way I can do it, blah, blah, blah. Don't take what's not yours. Be honest and don't lie. Don't manipulate people. Like things that you have control of that is a normal negative behavior pattern. You can always be better by trying to adjust the way you talk and treat the people. Not, being prim and proper and everything covered and being stiff and not laughing too loud or talking or cussing. No, have fun and enjoy life in all ways if you can. And if, you might spend some time talking to the police because you grabbed somebody's booty you ain't supposed to. I ain't saying that happened, but and it wasn't in it was in like everybody's drunk and having a good time, or everybody's high on marijuana and have a good time. That's one thing. But I mean, try to evaluate the bad parts of you that is a stain from someone else. Try to heal that, move on, and learn from it. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. I hope this made sense. It makes sense to me, but I hope it does to you. Let me know, comment, like, or share. That's just my thoughts for the day. Bye.